How does a woman stay subservient? And I'm not using subservient in a bad way. It's purely from a role position where, as you say, Mduduzi, I've taken you as my husband, and you have the responsibility of being the head of this house. But at the same time, it happens that you bring in the bigger check. What checks and balances have you put in place to make sure that it does not get into your, does not blow your head up?
I think the first thing, Steve, is that a lot of people, when in relationships, haven't seen all sides of the other person and endured all sides of the other person. So often in the relationships that happen now and in our generation, as we started the conversation, is you're starting in a relationship, you're going out on dates, the guy's taking you out, he's spoiling you with gifts, he's giving you all of that. You have gone through that process, and that's what you understand. That's what you've been conditioned to understand. The minute that starts changing, you're unhappy because that's what you're used to. And I think if you have weathered a storm with a person where they have not, before marriage, right, where they have not been in a good financial standing, and listen, we're partners. Because I think for us, one of the biggest things that we did is we started off without the finances. We started off without, the dates and, here are the flowers. We started off spending time with each other. We started off saying, listen, and I thought this was one of the sweetest things, and he knows. I always say to him, this is probably what grounded me, is he started off with, I don't have the money right now. I'm not okay financially, but come through, let me cook for you. Let me do something for you. We started off, and I hope you don't mind, I'm going to air this, where at some point at his apartment, he didn't have a couch. And he said, listen, we'll have picnics and dinners on the floor. Let's do that. And I understood that this person has ambition of the things that he wants to do in the future and is actually working towards them, because that's another key difference. If somebody is all dreams and not working towards it, as women, we will tend to take a dip. But he was working towards those things, and he didn't have those finances. So I've already understood him in a season of no finance, and it was a while. And so for me, it should not be difficult to adapt later on in life. But again, when you are bringing in different types of checks and there are monies, it's also having to communicate to say, where are we right now in life? And understanding, because remember, there are husbands that are stay-at-home husbands. There are husbands who don't have the finances like everyone else's, but that's an agreement that's been made between the two parties. So if you are going to have an agreement with me and say, I am going to continue being the head of the home, and this is what I am going to bring to the table, and you don't, we then need to communicate what is happening and why are you not able to bring in what you said you would to the table, and then start adapting to that until we're back in that situation where you should be. But I think the biggest thing is the communication in those relationships. I'll always go back to communication.